talking modern growth marketing, in particular, how certain things that we view as we're looking forward fit in together from a short-term, long-term point of view. So I'm going to show a quick slide around what we're going to look at. So here we've got, from a business perspective, what do we actually have? So our business branding, our business, our brand messaging, our product benefits, and our service benefits. Then into what we've got our touch points within our customer, so social media, search engines, and Google Business alike. Then short-term lead gen, long-term lead gen, and remarketing. And then we're going to talk around these different points. Overarching this, though, we've got obviously our business model, so our systems, processes, and people that operate within that, and how we structure that in to enable this sustainable growth model. So first up is going to be Luke, and talking around some of this lead gen short term. I'm going to remove this. Lead gen short term, social media and paid ads. Luke.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. So I think the first thing to start off with talking about short-term strategies is the best way to do well in digital marketing and marketing strategies in general on a short-term basis is be relevant and fit to what a customer is looking for. If you take Google search ads, for example, the way that they work is somebody types into Google what they're looking for, you create an advert based around that and advertise your product and service that they're searching for, make that advert as relevant as possible. They click to the website, find what they're looking for, and purchase. That's a very simple model and simple way of generating leads and sales. So basically, by creating those relevant adverts that fit what people are looking for, that's how you get instant short-term wins. It's like any business. If somebody's in a shop, they're looking for something on the shelf, they go in, they find it, they buy it. It's a very easy decision to make. So being in the short term, being relevant is very important. As I touched on there with search ads, a very, very easy way to do it. Influencers on the slides is an interesting one as well. Obviously, influencer marketing might not work for all businesses. There's a lot of different industries that particularly might not work well for influencers. But influencer marketing can be a really powerful tool because essentially you're accessing a large audience that influencers have in a very, very quick and effective short period of time, and getting in front of that audience very, very quickly. So this can be through a paid advertising post on social media, it can be through an Instagram story, for example. But these are short, sharp pieces of content that allow a business to position themselves in front of an audience and associate with that influencer's brand. And if they've got a good relationship and amount of trust between audience and influencer, this method can work really, really well. However, if we're going back to that relevant point and you're, for example, a company that wants to advertise golf products and you choose an influencer who specializes in football, for example, the likelihood is that their audience is not going to have an interest in what you're selling. So even if they have 1 million people or 100,000 people following them, because there's no relevance to that audience and the products or service that you're advertising, that method's not going to work well. So again, you're not going to generate any short-term gains through that. Facebook ads and social media ads in general work in a similar way. Again, the targeting and things that you want to build around a social media campaign have got to be specific to the people that you're targeting. A lot of horror stories that people have with short-term lead gen on social media is based on the fact that they just think that certain demographics will work fine and they can send it to thousands of people and they'll buy it. It doesn't work well at all. And it's about actually testing and finding out which audiences work really well. Again, get in front of them very quickly, but actually you can burn through a lot of money if you're not providing them with those people with what they're looking for.
I'll jump in here as well, Luke, because around that is around this as well is that the how can I say, the expectation of getting results like that straight off from some of this paid advertising, because this is what we're talking about here, is paid advertising, short-term lead gen. There's a load of other different things that go into that. So if we got the advert, and yes, they may have been drawn in by the advert and they've clicked through, but they haven't then taken an action on there. It could be due to the copy that's within that landing page that they've put it through. So there's loads of different things that we have to test here, as Luke was saying. So yeah, it was just something I wanted to.
No, you're right. You're right. And it goes back through again to that point of relevance. So if you're putting an advert in front of someone and they're interested in whatever it is in your advert, but they get sent to a landing page and they don't find the information they're looking for because that landing page isn't relevant or it's not got enough information, doesn't fit what they were looking for, they're not going to go and make that purchase. So it just goes back to that point in terms of short term. They want instant results, and to get those instant results, you need instant information, and people need to be educated on that. And the final one that we touched on there was on the slides was sort of Amazon, eBay, those e-commerce platforms. Again, it's a similar behavior. People tell these platforms what they're looking for, and they expect to see the most relevant searches and most relevant products or services available on those sites, and go and buy them straight away. So I think when businesses are looking for short-term lead generation, yeah, it's absolutely fine. There's lots of methods to do that, but you've got to be relevant in what you're offering, and your adverts have got to match that.
Yeah, and I think on that social media point of view with the e-commerce side in particular, I think is social media on one aspect for e-commerce businesses works well. The social media posting to Twitter and things like that, without necessarily doing ads, they can work. Other businesses, I think, is a little bit more of a long-term strategy with social media, which we'll come on to as well. So Mike, shifting into the lead gen long-term, we've got Andrew and Jim discussing here on different aspects. I'll pick Jim first, SEO, from your side on this long-term lead generation.
Okay, yes, carrying on from what Luke was saying, Google is looking for something called EAT. We call that in the SEO ways of stuff to do with expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So you've got to be demonstrating that to Google for it to want to rank you and for that people come through to you. It's looking for a great user experience now, not just looking at where to rank you. It wants to know it's taking you to the right place when you click on that link. So expertise, yeah, you need to be using blogs, using ways of showing that you can answer questions, answer issues for people. You're the person to come to. And authority is all about bringing out your branding, mention your branding as much as you can, not so it's absolutely swamping everything that you're doing, but enough for people to start to learn that, oh yeah, okay, I remember them, I remember that logo. So consistency with imagery as well. And trustworthiness, it's all down to social proof, using social media, getting people to leave you reviews, and also getting those great backlinks as well from authoritative companies or other governing bodies that you work alongside to say that, yeah, you are the guys to come to. It's all in the content, definitely.
Yeah, and this is where I know that through discussions that we've been having as a team is that one of the big things that is coming to light is inclusivity, is being able to, so on images and things like that with how we draw in is making sure that is including every sort of spectrum of people. Yeah. So yeah, Andrew.
Yep. Yeah, so I was looking at this from a customer journey point of view, as Luke was saying, you're playing to the people who've already know what they want, and you're putting something straight in front of them and they're buying it. But for long term, you're looking at people doing their research. They haven't quite yet decided what they want. So your marketing technique is all about helping them go through their research level. So like Jim was saying, they're searching for this particular keywords and they're going to your website and discovering a category of products or a particular product on a page. But you also need to build a relationship. So what I do is work out conversational type stuff to help people move through their customer journey, and I do that on voice and with chatbots. So that's where you would actually connect with people who might be further back in their buying decision and want to then have conversations, be presented with brochures, go to webinars, and see information to help them move forward before they actually make their buying decision. They can play to straight into the buying point, but as we say, lots of people for long term, they're watching videos and then something pops up and they come to your website or they go and have a look at your Google business profile, and that's where we can capture them with automation, message automation, directories. They're searching through directories. I
suppose the thing for me here, Andrew, and again is again with this long-term view with Jim, is me, as you know, manufacturing background, love the manufacturing background, gone into all manner of different stuff. But if we are looking at particular manufacturing, the product offer that we've probably got is very, very large. So absolutely right, you're probably further back in that customer value journey because you're researching. Let's say I've done a post this morning that was on about manufacturing and paid advertising. and you supply industrial packaging machines. So you want to be there in front of, but people that are going to look to buy industrial packaging machines are going to be quite a long way off, because they want to do the research within the machine, and is the machine capable of what they're after. So there's quite a long-term sort of like customer value journey in that. So this is where this conversational stuff really comes in. It's really almost getting personalized with very, very one-to-one, very, very warm target.
Yeah,
but you've got to nurture that target through the relationship.
Adam, can I just jump in there as well as a counterpoint to that? So I think actually short-term and long-term, in a weird way, sort of work together. So, for example, if the work that Jim and Andrew have done on the long-term strategy for your business, you ranked organically for generic terms. Again, in manufacturing, you might be a supplier, provider of certain specialist materials, etc. But then at that point, once somebody's done their research, they then move into, right, we're in the short-term decision-making stage now, where I know what I want. This is exactly what I want. And where can I go and find that? And that's where, like Google Ads, for example, where you can really be specific because you know what people are looking for, create adverts around that once you've done the research and set the tone. And naturally, they can work really effective too. So the two sort of work hand in hand. And I think the thing we're going to touch on last of retargeting sort of brings them all together as well, and actually finishes off that journey really, really well.
Well, as soon as you brought it up, retargeting.
We're also having to share this one. I think I'll go first. I mean, for people that are not unsure what retargeting really is, somebody visits a certain page or aspect of your website, and you can then reconnect them to your site if they don't take the action that you wanted them to take, by sending them tailored adverts based on what they viewed or what they're interested in. And these can appear via social media. These can appear in the form of Google display ads, email marketing campaigns, whatever it is. You can retarget your existing customers, but they've got to have got to your site in the first place, and they're along that customer journey, as Andrew mentioned, at some point, whether they've come through Google because they know what they're looking for, whether they've come through social media because they've seen a post by an influencer, or they've seen your company page and they wanted to find out more. But retargeting from my point of view and my opinion is to really educate them on the final stages of what your product does, or educate someone on exactly what problem they have and how your product or service can fix that. And by doing that, you sort of then fill in the missing gap, reconnect them back to your website, and then they go away and make that final inquiry, lead, purchase, whatever it is, because they've got all the information they need. And retargeting ads have been managed to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and of course with chatbots, of course, if they've made it to the shopping cart and then they've got distracted, you can use a chatbot to send an email and say, you've forgotten something. And of course, on the Facebook Messenger and Instagram direct messages, you have a 24-hour rolling window where you can wake up the conversation again and go, oh, did you like this? Google My Business messaging allows a month follow-up, which is pretty unique at the moment. So if someone goes to your Google Business and starts having a conversation with your chatbot, you've got up to a month to do follow-up, which is unheard of in the chatbot industry. So I
think the other side I come on with it, although we've spoken around short and long-term lead generation point of view. I mean, thinking around the voice marketing. Voice marketing is growing at an exponential rate. I think it's probably 50% plus now that are probably done searches on Google are probably done through voice. Yeah. So again, that short-term voice marketing, I say, business mentor near me sort of like thing. It's there straight away again. So that's short-term and long-term. So there's both a strategy both on this from the on the voice side in particular, and that's only going to get stronger. Anything else? Anything else we haven't covered, you think, around this? I know it was only going to be a short 20 minutes. So
I mean, voice can be used for immediate sales. Nike publicized their auto lace up trainers at a Super Bowl, and then said just ask Nike on Google, and it took them through the whole purchasing process in the States. So if you imagine you run an ad on one platform and then pick up the results on voice on the other, very interesting.
Very powerful. Yeah. I think the only other thing that I will end on is is your general opinion around where things are going within the marketing side, in particularly digital, with the imminent sort of like deletion of the cookies side? This plays into this keyword SEO long-term organic stuff, but also it does play a hand in Google advertising as well as remarketing as well. So it is, for me, it's crucial for businesses to start thinking about this transition, because it is going to go. So the Facebooks and the stuff are going to have a little bit of a hard time with this cookie targeting side. Opinions on that? Anybody?
I think the whole interruption side of things has just got, it's made people hate the whole cookie thing, isn't it, really? And they want to see an intent. They want to, they want knowledge, basically, or something that they are actually interested in, instead of just having things thrown at them, basically. So I think there's got to be a real big rethink with that kind of thing. It'd be interesting to see where they go. But if you're giving out quality content and you're answering questions and helping people, I can't say that's going to be a bad thing for yourselves, whichever way it all goes for, as you say, for the cookie side of things.
Just on a quick question, Mr. Murphy, that's on here, is a mate of mine. He's just, any comments on low volume bespoke products and the marketing of that?
Yeah, I mean, with bespoke, it sort of goes back to what we were saying then about people knowing exactly what they want. I think with a bespoke product, because it's so niche, if you are in the market for that product or service, you know exactly what you're looking for, and maybe potentially you're ready to go and act short term, because you like I said, as long as you get and find something that's relevant to what you're looking for, because you know exactly what that is, then short term marketing methods there might work really well. On the other side of things, it's about educating people on the long term, because it's so bespoke and so niche, and it might be really, really long buying decision to buy that. So there's definitely pros and cons of short term, but my personal belief would be maybe try a short term basis there.
Yeah, I think there's no way I've spot on. I think there's Steve's just put up there. I should probably specialise is a better word, not necessarily bespoke. Same thing applies for me. It's still a specialized, very niched area. So it is the search terms that people are going to be looking for are going to be very narrowed. And again, from that Google search point of view, they'll probably farther down the customer journey from that. The other aspect as well is this on some of this is that, particularly with Google adverts, is you may have you may not be dealing with the end consumer. You may be dealing with an end consumer, but you know that a competitor has probably got a good market share. So it's actually putting your advert in front of that when somebody's searching for that brand as well, which I think people miss, is we narrow and think of our product and our branding. There's also sort of like piggybacking on the back of somebody else's branding with Google search and potentially. Andy, have we got the same sort of side with voice marketing on that as well, Andrew?
Yes, to a certain extent. I mean, the market is still wide open. There's only just over 40,000 active Alexa skills, but both Google and Alexa are going off to directories now, because there's not enough businesses uptaking this technology, so they're having to supplement the search results by using other directories to fill in the blanks. And I mean, it's still wide open. The land grab has yet to happen, I think, within that world. It will happen, but I think the consumers have used it a lot during lockdown, and are now trying to get back to a normal world. And it might be that we need to go back another loop round where people start to go, hang on, I've asked it for music, I've asked it for the news, I've asked it for the weather. Maybe I start asking it about things I actually want. And that's when the businesses really need to be there and step up and have their systems in place.
Hey, Nas, here's one for you. I'm going to drop you, all three of you, in the shit now, and put you on the spot and turn around and say, right, top tip for any business that's out there from your individual expertise. So, Luke, go on. Top tip.
People are going to think I'm a broken record, but for me, it's just about being relevant with all your adverts and sending people to a place where they can find out all the information they need. If you do an advert, somebody clicks through it because they're interested, and they go to a page that they can find out all the information they need on it. And there's a simple 3-step journey of advert, landing page, purchase, or inquire, whatever it is. it's a very, very simple way to generate lots of inquiries. So for me, it would be that word relevant. Just make sure whatever you're doing is relevant.
Superb. Jim?
Quality content. Google hates fluff, so make it like your belly button. Get rid of that fluff. Yeah, and go on with quality, and you'll start to rank. If you're seen as being authoritative and expert, you'll start to rank.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing with that is that what I learned from Jim is with the keyword is get it in there, but don't flood it because you'll just get collared.
Yeah.
Andrew?
I still ponder why there's loads of people manually doing support on all of their channels. So implementing a chatbot just saves the company so much time and money, and answers all the questions that people keep asking your business, and you get on with doing the real work, rather than sending out stuff all the time and answering repetitive questions. So for me, chatbots are a no-brainer, and then you develop that into a voice bot later on. So
absolutely.
when you refine the model.
Mine would be have a strategy. Don't wing it. Don't spray and pray. There is a science behind online marketing, digital marketing, and you need to have that strategy in place to do it, encompassing everything that we've talked about. So yeah, if you do want anything, you do want any support, then do contact us. www.newwaygrowth.com. You can connect in with us, comment on this, just ask. We are here to support. So thank you very much, gents. Good to see you, and wait till next time.
See you later.
Cheers.
Thank you.